I'm very happy to be here. Thank you for letting me in to your consciousness, to your awareness. Are there people here who have no idea what Gangaji is or what she has to say? If you just raise your hand so I know where to start. Okay, good. It's very brief, really. Then the rest of the time we've just been being with one another, however that appears. Fundamentally and finally, I have appeared to you because my teacher, Papaji, asked me to bring you the profound and sublime good news that the truth of who you are is always inherently free, whether it is recognized or not. Since you are this that is always and inherently free, you have the full capacity and opportunity to recognize yourself as that. Most of us have spent most of our lives not recognizing that and searching for freedom, searching for it everywhere except where it always is. And by freedom, I don't mean freedom from circumstances. I don't mean freedom from emotions or thoughts, bodies, worlds, realms, levels. I mean freedom that stands alone in its freeness and excludes nothing. So you could call it God, or truth, or love, or self. It's called different things in different cultures. But always, those that have penetrated the language of the culture, or the conditioning of the culture, realize that it is eternally present. That's what's meant by the omnipresence of God. That it is unchanging, and that it is here. Since it is eternally present, it must be here. Our confusion and our lack of recognition, or our denial of this that is always here, is based simply on the training we have to follow the thoughts that appear about reality, or to reject the thoughts that appear about reality, but mainly to follow them, as if thought were reality. And in this we begin to search for ourselves in thought. And when we are feeling good, we think we are good. If we're feeling enlightened, we think we are enlightened. If we're feeling bad, we think we're bad. If we're feeling ignorant, we think we're ignorant. And this thought gives power to feeling that feeling in itself doesn't have. And it comes and goes, this thought and all thoughts. As you know, in a day, in an hour, your thought of who or how or what you are can change many times. So the task is to discover simply that awareness never changes. Awareness is always here. It is awareness that recognizes every thought, that recognizes suppression of thoughts, that recognizes feeling. And finally, that recognizes itself. So I've come as a body thought into your awareness to point you to the fact that awareness is always here. And if you will simply be aware of thoughts, you will naturally be aware of what is unchanging. I don't mean be aware of thoughts as being aware of yourself as the one who is being aware of thoughts. That's just another thought, right? The thought, I am awareness, is just another thought. But the awareness of that thought is unchangeably here. The thought, I'm not aware, I've lost awareness, it's just a thought. The awareness is unchangingly here. And that's the gate, or the opening. That's really the beginning and the end of this enchantment through thinking, through the power of thinking. Because we have been put into, individually and collectively, we have been put into a trance. And that trance, individually and collectively, causes much suffering, enormous suffering. Whether you have led a privileged life or a deprived life, doesn't matter. The suffering is there through this enchantment of the mind. So I want to be very clear that there's nothing wrong with thought. It's actually, well, it's awesome. There's nothing wrong with mind. Nothing. If you hold that there's something wrong with mind or thought, then this thought, there's something wrong with mind, there's something wrong with thought, then furthers the suffering. So that every time a thought arises, oh, there's what's wrong, bad, I shouldn't be thinking, this means I'm not enlightened, or means I am doomed, I can't get it, I won't get it. You see, one thought then spirals into another. That's the nature of suffering. So mind and thought are beautiful powers that arise in awareness. If the powers are worshipped, or if they are hated, then their power grows into a tyranny. You are awareness, not the thought of awareness, but the reality of awareness. Awareness is free. Awareness is true. Awareness is God. I'm not saying your body is God. I want to be very clear about this. It's like, whoa, I'm God. Okay, I always thought maybe I was. I always wanted to be so I can fix them, change the weather. So I'm not speaking about that. That's megalomania, and that's just more suffering for everybody, individually and collectively. But the awareness that is not the property of your mind, the awareness that is not owned by your mind or your body or your circumstances, the awareness that is truly, absolutely awareness is God. And in that there is the radiance the sacredness, the unspeakable depth, immeasurable depth that is available for your recognition. When I met my teacher, I was really at my rope's end, which is a good place to be. Because we keep, hanging on to this rope of if I just do this, if I just get that, if I just feel this way. I had had many experiences, up and down, but lots of up experiences. And yet this nagging thought of who I really was still was the filter that I was experiencing life and myself and other through. When I met Papaji and I looked into his eyes, I saw the potential to really stop, to let the rope go, to drown, if drowning is what would happen, to die, if dying was to happen. Just to not cling to any rope thought. And from my experience of that meeting and that invitation, I invite you likewise to let go. So people over the years have said, yes, that sounds good, but how? And this is a question I've tried to address in many ways, always saying there is no how. How is how you hold on. So to see how you hold on is to see what you are thinking. And if you see what you are thinking, to let go, then you are still bound. You understand? Well, you will once you begin to see what you're thinking. Many people don't even have a clue that they are thinking. It's like people who have the TV on in the house all day. They don't know the TV's on. Somebody comes in and goes, "Whoa, what a noise, turn the TV off." It's like, what TV? But you turn it off and it's like, space. So the very first step is to see that you are thinking. And these thoughts appear, and they exist for some time, and they usually are thoughts about that thought, and then the 10,000 tangents about that original thought. Just see that. Gently, without judgment. Just see it, and you will begin to see, quite naturally, there are thoughts that are appropriate, and there are thoughts that are compulsive, obsessive, that you have thought trillions of times, maybe since you were a baby. Trillions of times. Let go. See it. Let go. You never have to think that thought again. And if you do, let go. You know these thoughts very well. They're the dog barking. But you may not know you know them. So I'm inviting you today, just in our time today, and in particular, in between meetings, simply be aware of what you are thinking. Be aware. Is it a fresh, insightful, creative, new, appropriate thought? Or is it the same old thought? If it's the same old thought, I guarantee you can let me know if I'm right or wrong, but I'll guarantee you, it has something to do with survival, meaning food or money, or place. Something to do with sex, meaning wanting it or not wanting it, or looking at other or self as sexual object. Or something to do with power, meaning what about me? You may also have insightful thoughts about sex and survival and power. But definitely, that's where the compulsion is. So just as an experiment today, be aware of what you're thinking. And be aware of what you are thinking about what you are thinking. Okay? Then my work is done. Any questions, especially from the people who have never heard me speak or know what this is about? Let's get to the root of it. Did that make sense? Oh, great. Should keep this tape then. It's pretty basic, isn't it? The truth is it's your own experience that you are awareness. Only we have been trained so thoroughly to look at our thoughts as who we are that we have overlooked this experience that we are this that is free and unthought, unborn, not subject to thought. So this can be spoken of as a return to what has always been here, who you really are.